Alright, welcome back to our show. You already know I'm your good Capri Love, and today we have a special guest with us by the name of Fletcher. He is not new to the spoken word world. He is also an artist and by extension a teacher. Is that okay if I call her a teacher?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay. By the time you have a conversation here, let me tell you, you're gonna leave knowing more. Okay, how are you doing?
I'm not bad, I'm doing well.
You good?
Yes.
Alright. And what is it like? What has it been like being called an artist and being known as an artist?
It's been a good journey. You know, for me, the arts, being called an artist, going into that direction has been a dream. Getting all these ideas put in from a child, and then now I'm able to basically bring it out there in a creative way, you know, with imagery, with videos, and then also writing it down, so impacting people and everything as well. But one of the poetry I did was called Champion, and I think it was one time where I used to watch everyone performing on the stages, and that was not me. And people would tell me, why aren't you on the stages? And I tell them, I don't know, I guess when the time comes. And then I would write this poem called Champion, basically declaring that I will be on the stages and I'll be doing this and I'll be doing that. And then now I'm on the stages doing it, and then I'm telling people in 2013 it was all a dream. When I looked at the TV screen I could only imagine, you know. And then, you know, it was just so, yeah, it was something I manifested. And just see this happening, bringing all this creative art together, all these dreams together, is really good.
So when you started out there, like being on the stage and stuff, did you ever think I should have started it sooner? Did you ever had a point where you're like, oh my god, this feels exactly what I should have been doing, like I should have started earlier?
I believe everything comes in the right time.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I wish I would want to have done earlier, sooner, but then I came to realize when it happened was a better time for it to happen, when I had more knowledge, when I had more experience. You know, because I believe some things if I did too early I would have probably messed it up due to just being immature in my knowledge and stuff like that. So when I grew more mature, when I got more knowledge, you know, these things worked out better. So I think the time that happened was the right time, and from now on it's just growing and developing and continuing and still learning, you know.
So, and what age did you first come on stage or possibly publicly performed? Whether it was in a school, church, what age and what environment did you start?
Well, at the time when I was going to church, it started off, I think I was 17, 18.
Okay.
So, probably younger. A year or so, younger maybe. I'm not sure. Within the gap between 16 to...
A teenager.
Yeah. And what happened was, I think I was going to a church at the time. And that church had a lot of injustice. A lot of stuff I was seeing that the pastors were doing to people. You know, exploiting people for their money and stuff like that. You know, threatening people with the scriptures to get them to give more money and whatnot.
Okay.
And a whole bunch of stuff. And at that time, I think I was very shy. You could be one person in the aisle and I'll be terrified to go up and speak.
Oh my god.
I was terrified. I don't know what it was. I was terrified. I used to watch a guy that used to encourage people, tell people, you know, you need to learn how to speak, and I was like, nah, bro, I cannot do that. But eventually it ended up, I developed. See, that's why I just said previously the question asked about the right timing and whatnot. So what happened was I was watching a YouTube video of a rapper called Cassidy, because from young I always watched BT and all that kind of stuff. I was watching a rapper called Cassidy. He was freestyling to the people, and I said, you know what, this might be the avenue for me to actually speak out to people with confidence, because once I do the spoken word I just have to memorize and speak out. So I decided to write at the time I didn't know it was spoken word. I decided to put like a freestyle together and kind of mix it, but make it in a way where I'm speaking to people.
Okay.
And then I ended up doing that, and I ended up calling it lyrical preaching. And so I ended up basically lyrically preaching.
That actually has a ring to it.
Yeah.
It has a ring.
So I ended up lyrically preaching to people. When I put it together, I was at the church one time, and then I believe what happened was someone came to me and said, like, your spoken word? I said, yeah, of course, it's spoken on there. I like your poetry. Now, at the time, I always thought poetry was roses are red, vibes.
Yeah, that the free verses,
the really
four
short
verses.
That's what I thought poetry was. So I thought people in somewhere actually created spoken word poetry. However, I just didn't know it existed at the time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so until later on, when I show me videos of it, then I realized, okay, that's already out there. People are doing it. But when that happened, I realized it's definitely a gift because it's something that came naturally, that I kind of self-developed within me. And it was a great avenue for me to kind of stand up for people, kind of speak out for injustice, kind of, encourage people, help people, entertain people. So along with the music as well, that was something that ended up also being very impactful.
Okay, so
in the
they
long
worked
run.
hand in hand together.
Yeah, they work hand in hand together for sure.
Okay, so what started the music though? Was it a different way of reaching people for you, or what was
The
it?
music has always been a dream. I think from young, growing up watching BT, I think that's what was the encouragement I provided. I really like that culture, that vibe. So like from young, I always had my notebook. I was always writing my music wherever I went. When I went to England, I was always writing my music and whatnot. The only difficulty at the time was getting it recorded. So it was much easier to do a spoken word because the music has more in-depth into it, gets into the choruses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when it came to the spoken word, it was more simpler. But the music, it was definitely more something for fun, to bring out, style, arts, doing something as a kid. You always had as a dream, seeing your favorite rapper rapping and stuff like that. So yeah. So that's what it was more for that, for more of the entertaining aspect and, doing that kind of stuff. The spoken word was more standing up for a lot of the injustice and being a mouthpiece for the people who couldn't speak up for this.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what time frame would you say that happened? Like the spoken word you said started when you were in lyrical preaching started when you were a teenager. Did the music came like way after?
The music has always been there since a kid.
Okay.
The music was, I guess the music was my first love, and then the spoken word came after.
Nice. And when did you find yourself a little bit more comfortable with performing and probably going out of your usual setting?
Yeah. So performing was, I think, again, everything at first it starts off very rocky, and then you self-develop your art, you self-develop yourself. When I performed, I've done a lot of things that I had to learn. Like sometimes I would make a mistake and I would just give up on the stage. Sometimes when I walk off, if I made one little mistake and I walked off, I'll feel terrible.
Wait. You said you made a mistake and you just walk away?
No. I would just lose all interest. But after the poetry was done, I made a mistake and I left. I'll feel terrible. I'll just be beating down on myself all the time. Sometimes I'll be too nervous. I would be afraid to look around and whatever. So over time, performing more than once, I decided to develop myself. Okay, be calm, look at people, start to take your time, don't rush it. If you make a mistake, it happens. People make mistakes. People don't even notice that you made a mistake most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so all of these things I had to develop. Surprisingly, I have done less performances with music than I've done with the poetry, because the poetry again is just easier to do than the music. I haven't gotten that aspect yet. I haven't even done much music as I should have. I've mostly done.
But you've done.
I've recorded a lot of music, but I haven't performed that much. Yeah.
Okay. So did you have any mentor? Did you have anybody working with you, probably a friend, an older person helping you in person? Because I remember you said you watched a few YouTube videos of motivation and stuff. But did you have somebody in person helping, guiding you?
No.
Did it all by yourself?
Okay, so I've never really had any push, any real help per se, apart from some people who say, oh, this is a really nice song, really good, but I've never had someone there, pushing me along, guiding me along, I've never had even artists who've been up there, who tell me they like the stuff, but I've never, some kind of way give me some kind of
guidance.
Yeah, concrete guidance or advice. And whatnot, at least give me some constructive criticism. Say, hey, bro, this is really great, but try to whatever. Sometimes it's just ignore and stuff like that. So I just learned to just kind of got to a point where I just do it myself for now and just see what happens. I mean, I don't have any resentment to anyone. It's just realize as a journey, it's a personal journey, so I'm just doing what it is I have to do. Even with the spoken word and even the music, I don't actually follow any artists out there. that you know that I'm listening to, or my favorite is. I mean, if I hear the music, I hear the music, but I'm not someone that has like an album of this person that I'm listening to consistently and stuff like that. I think one of the fears is when it comes to the music, I don't want to ever subconsciously plagiarize words.
Yeah. Because they flow, so then you
so
end up
flow.
picking up something that you
Picking up
really
something and not
do.
even realizing that's someone's thing, you know. So I try and stay away from that. And when it comes to spoken word, I think there's only one spoken word guy I ever heard. That was really good, but apart from that, I don't even really look at much.
But what do you mean one guy you heard that was really good?
I can't remember his name, Jefferson Method, something like that. I can't remember his name. He was a guy that I think what the poetry did was why I love Jesus but hate religion.
Yeah, I think I've heard that one.
That was a very old poetry. I think that was the first thing I heard after everyone told me that was spoken word. That was really good. I really like that. But apart from that, I don't really watch other spoken word artists or people. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's no real mentor in my life. It's just me, just developing my skill and just like taking little tips wherever I can and just kind of supplementing. However, for the Jazz and Arts Festival, the recent performance that I did there was a guy that came down from America called Seven the Poet.
Okay.
He was really good. He was really good. I learned something from him. I would love to have inputted myself, but we had some restrictions at the time.
What set of poem did you perform at your most recent event?
The Jazz and Arts Festival, which was the most recent, I performed. What is that? I performed a poem called Liberty and Champion.
Okay. You want to give us a little bit of that? Can we get those poems on YouTube? On the YouTube platform?
Yes, you can on YouTube, you can get them on Instagram.
Can we get a backstory on the Liberty one?
So Liberty, it stemmed from my mindset and understanding and research of us as a people, that basically we believe we're free because you know we have the liberty to drive, we have the liberty to travel, we have the liberty to do this and that.
Okay.
You know, we celebrate independence, but then when you actually look at back then and now, we are not truly free because we're still under restrictions. We still in some ways suffer, we still go through so many things that we complain about. So we know we're not free, but because we can do things, this is why I think in the poem I say you're not free because you were let out of jail cell and then given the liberty to walk the courts in the prison. So at the end of the day, you're still behind the fence.
Yeah.
So not because you now walk in the courts, it means that you're free. You just have a little liberty to do more, but you're still not free. You're not free to live how you want. And if people understood the history of how we lived before, where we were truly free, before, you know, slavery and everything like that, then they will look at this and realize they're actually still in bondage. So liberty is just trying to understand, let people know, you know, you're not free. You know, you're singing Bob Marley, emancipate yourself from into slavery from Marcus Garvey, and then it's like you're not really free or don't even know.
Does it say how to be free at the end of it?
Yeah, I do. There's one point where I do mention that what I believe the way to get in depth is definitely, you know, very technical, you know, to explain and everything, but the simple explanation I give is rebellion, because people often tend to believe that love is kind and love is petals and roses, which it is, that's what aspect of it, but there's also the very rigorous side of love. So you have to rebel for your freedom, you have to fight for your freedom, and then obviously following the ways of the Most High. You know, He has a certain law and guidance, and once we learn to follow that law and that guidance, it will also lead us to a mindset of liberation. And you know, us coming together as a people, which is part of the law, coming together, loving one another, you know, bringing up one another, uplifting one another, not corrupting each other, stuff like that.
That's a heavy topic. That's a heavy topic.
But it gets more in depth if you are to like just sit down and explain the theoretical side of it. It's definitely more rigorous.
So I'm guessing it's easier for a person to digest in a poetry form.
Yeah, so in the poetry form it's easier to kind of digest. At least it brings out or it plants that seed there to give it, you know, way to go. So we can ponder on it, we can think about it.
And the other one is
Champion.
That's the one you spoke about.
That's the one I spoke about.
Can we get a little sample of Champion?
Do it.
Yeah, probably one or two verses, I don't know.
Okay.
If it's not too long, maybe the whole thing.
Alright, that's fine. So Champion. Firstly, I wanted to understand that the only reason I made it thus far was because I was a champion. So you see, because of this, daily I'm motivated by my pride. You could say I'm a lion as I prey on all my weaknesses in this wild life. Because I understood that up here, yeah, I'm in control. You see, I'm the king of my own jungle. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I have it all together. No, I mean many great men fall even 7 times over, but only a greater man can get back up and start over. You see, failure, that's one of the first keys to success, because sometimes we fail. But you have to understand that you were not given a breath of fear. So every day you have to dare to stare right into the eyes of the demon and be bold. Because even you behold something so powerful. Or would you rather rise so high and let all that power fall? No. Because you're responsible. You see, every action you take from now, you're responsible for making your dreams become reality. I mean, you have the power to stretch your hands far past the heavens and put all your aspirations down into reality. Okay, if you don't believe me, well, let's see. See, in 1878, it was impossible for us to walk into a room and kind of replicate Yah and say, boom, let there be light. But guess what? A man had insight. In 1902, it was impossible for us to fly so high that maybe one day we'll be able to travel through the skies. But guess what? They said 2 guys. In 1990, it was impossible for us to hold a touchscreen device, but within seconds, we'll be able to access all the knowledge known to man. I mean, that was stuff you only saw in sci-fi or Star Trek The Next Gen narration. But guess what? A man had a vision. And lastly, in 2013, you see, it was all a dream. As I gazed at the TV screen, I could only imagine that I'll be standing in front of multitudes of people, sharing my passion and my fashion with hopes that I'll one day impact nations. But guess what? I possess one of the most powerful tools known to man, and that is called imagination. You see, a wise man once said that it only takes one tree to make hundreds of boxes of matches, but only one match to burn down thousands. And so then I came to the conclusion, like Martin Luther King, who had a dream that only takes one voice to reach 1 million. You see, one man came out of one woman, and that one man saved 1 billion. Risen. So like him, I stand with my head high and I keep going. I mean, so forget people. If the Most High be your shepherd, then see no evil. Because on this road, let's travel. No matter what comes at you, you could stop or keep riding. You decide. But understand that before any of you can reach your destination, every king or queen has to be crowned with thorns before you're crucified. And that's the champion.
So that was packed in there. I like it. I like it. So what exactly inspires you to write? Reality? Do you do impromptu pieces? What?
I go based off inspiration. I tend not to write just for writing's sake, because I believe it has to have certain power in it. So before I write, I like to definitely be inspired. I like to go and educate myself, like go and read some stuff, go and research based off what I'm writing about. And then, you know, I like to take time to write, make mistakes, cross out, leave it for a week, come back to it, and then eventually, you know, bring something out. So even with the hip-hop as well, same thing, write, educate myself, study something, get some inspiration, listen to, if I'm doing a love song, listen to love songs, you know, get inspired by the vibes, and then come back, you know, do it, leave it, come back, blah, blah.
Okay, so do you ever do freestyle?
Freestyle?
Either singing, rapping, or the poetry. Do you have ever tried freestyle?
No, I've never. Actually, when I performed and I forget the words, I have to freestyle on the spot.
Okay, well that means you kind of
freestyle. Yeah. So I have to make something up if I lost track of the words. But no, not really freestyle.
Okay. Can I give you a challenge to freestyle now?
Me?
Yeah. So the first one I'm thinking is the nighttime, anything to do with night.
Okay. In the nighttime, I'm like a shadow in my prime. Every time I walk down the road, I feel like I'm on a line when I'm just trying to be on the brim of time. I just don't care. It's like sweet wine. when I'm chilling on the porch in the house, on the wind, on the grind, just rolling with the windows down in my ride, and it's cool in the nighttime.
See, that was not too bad. That was not too bad. I see you tried to keep with the rhyming to get that flow. Okay. Probably something romantic. A romantic word isn't coming to my head right now. I don't want to say love because then that's like too direct, but I'm gonna let you go with this one.
Love?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Love is as beautiful and peaceful as a dove. Love is like the vibe, like we get from above to show that we the. Yeah, I'm stuck.
Okay, let's try that again. Something else that could be romantic. What about that thing you said? Roses and red violets are blue. You could keep it concise to one of those shorter ones.
So what? Right? Or is it a word? Let's just give me a word. Let's go with this one for word.
For word?
Yeah, well, it'll be easier to this.
Roses.
Roses comes with pocket full of dozies. I know Miss Daisy's. She's a very beautiful lady, full of friends who are ladies, and that was tough.
You rushed into that one.
I rushed into that one. You have to. You have to. Yeah. I don't know, like the freestyle, freestyle stuff for me. Let me see. Okay. He goes, I'm just trying to be a better man, best version of me. Sipping on some wine when I chill with the most high, that put me at ease. Told the baby girl that we moving too fast, maybe we should take it easy. I'm trying to be a better man, best version of me. Sipping on some wine when I chill with the most high, that put me at ease. Told the baby girl that we moving too fast, maybe we should take it easy. All they do is sit back, talk smack, no facts, who's in my biz? Why they always judging? Chain so deep, but I'm never budging. I'm falling, I'm standing, I'm sinning, I'm winning, I'm forgiving, but I always still stumble to the light skin. I mean, being hurt so much, might turn Sasuke with the run again. I mean, just live up your life, work hard, hold on to your dreams. I let pain through, I don't even know Kung Fu. I level up like Goku, then live it up to you know who. No, oh no, no, I don't. No, oh no, I don't. Shiloh. I wrote solo from the shadows. I might just come and expose. I might just come and impose. I might just come and let know. I think it's sleep with the devil. You know that day 20 toes. She said she want me to fuck. I said, oh no baby no. My life is too crazy yo. My time is too valuable. It's already 2:30 when I'm up in the, and I don't care. Russian roulette like truth or dare. I'm used to all that we hold dear, and only Yah is who I fear. Blood, sweat and tears to be heirs in that place up in the air. And you know we never scared, and they know we grizzly bears. I've been following these crumb trails. We believe in these dumb tales that weigh us down like dumbbells. And in my feelings I feel I'm not ideal, but I deal with this ordeal, and I feel that I'm ideal to appeal. And I know exactly where I'm supposed to be. Kill that old wannabe version of me I don't wanna see.
Giving us some of your poetry and music. On what social media platform can we find you?
You can get me on Facebook, you can get me on YouTube, you can get me on Instagram.
All of them have the same handle?
No. But I think if you go on Instagram, you'll get the links to all the others. So Instagram will be the best one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I believe on your Instagram have something else. I think it's truth something.
Truth Given.
Truth Given.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Truth Given is a conclusion or part of my life that I developed or came to after intense research. All my life I've been a Christian.
Okay.
And was a Christian, and then I started reading for myself scriptures rather than going to church, listening to what was being told, how I was raised my whole life, just being told this, told that to believe in. So I started doing my own research.
Okay.
And in that, I started to realize a lot of the things that we're being taught is not the truth according to what scripture actually is. Because even the scripture itself that we read tells us that a lot of the stuff that we practice and we do today is not the truth. Like, for instance, when I tell people, how can Messiah be called Jesus when the letter J was not created 2,000 years ago, it was only created 400 years ago.
Okay. How
can that be his name? Because I've studied the Hebrew, I tell people, how can certain letters like E and U, that does not exist in the Hebrew language, so that not his name clearly. When you read the scripture itself, you can see that words were added, words were removed. When you read the scripture, it will tell you that we, West Africans, ancestors from West Africans, that we are the ones who are actually in the scriptures, that the scriptures are actually about us. It's our history that was stolen and that was rewritten by people. That's what people claim salvation is, and the whole religion aspect that they claim has nothing to do with the scripture. That true salvation, it actually comes from basically just the way you treat people, loving one another, having a mindset of love, like do unto others as you like them to do unto you. So meaning, if you go to someone's house and you wouldn't drop crumbs, you wouldn't want someone to come in your house and drop crumbs on your floor. When you go to someone's house, you don't drop crumbs on your floor. And if everyone had that mindset, you realize that the world would be a totally different place. Everyone's mindset would be just doing good unto each other. And that's basically the aspect that it teaches. It teaches more of a level of spirituality rather than guidelines and regulations and religion. And even the Messiah, trying to come out of that religious mindset, he was just a man that came down like Marcus Garvey. He was a man that came down like Malcolm X, like all these guys. He was a man that just came down to try to get people away from laws and guidance from the governments and all these things, and just lead people to a level of freedom and thinking for themselves, and not going to church where the church controls people and indoctrinates people and uses people and stuff like that. So that's the whole vibe of it, and just going more in depth in different scriptures, because in the scriptures itself they tell you, like the book of Enoch, to read other books for yourself, educate yourselves, learn for yourselves, and then you start to realize there's more to it than what we're being taught. Like all these religions, Muslims, Islam, Christianity, Rastafarianism, all these religions are all part of an indoctrination that was given to us that put us in this box. And once you can come out of it, you realize like there's a bigger world out there. There's more in-depth out there, and then you understand the love and the wisdom of the Most High to a higher level, to a higher degree. So yeah.
Okay. So does this transcend into your poetry and your music, or is it like three separate ideas here?
The poetry and the music will definitely link together, but when it comes to that aspect, I try to keep it away. Yeah, there may be little hints of it because it's still my lifestyle, but
it's what you think about on a daily.
Yeah, so I try to limit it or keep it away from that, because people may perceive it because of the whole notion. People may receive it as something religious aspect, and that can cause problems or whatever. But if people truly understand, it's not necessarily trying to be religious. It's just the fact that I have to use that in itself. I have to use that to basically expose a lot of the lies that are given to us and taught to us. Yeah.
Understandable. I think I did look through some of the stuff that you have written, and I find it's very enlightening.
On the page?
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Can't remember the name, but yeah, the page. Okay, and just wanted to know, what other platforms have you, I guess, touched, show your work, performed at? If you can probably remember all the stuff that you've done, probably competitions, shows, probably traveled, I don't know.
Yeah, I won a few competitions, but I stopped doing competitions.
Okay.
It just doesn't feel like my vibe, so I try to stay away from competitions.
Which ones did you participate in, if you remember?
I think one was Pom Damu.
Okay.
That was a while back, and one was Alliance Française.
Alliance Française?
Française, yeah. Française.
It's French, right?
Yes, French. The little triangle building?
Yeah. Alliance Française.
Yeah, so they had one that I performed at, and I won that as well. So yeah, I did these two, but then I just started to. It was just not my vibe. It was just felt like, you know, competitions and all that stuff. The poetry, like, to me, for me, it kills the art form for me, because it makes people kind of graded for. Because certain people understand things different. I remember one time I performed and the lady told me, she said, what you do, everyone's hearing about it. It's everywhere. It's not the first time I'm hearing this, and she kind of graded me because she believed that what I was doing, everyone's doing. And then I just realized, you know, that person doesn't really know what to grade. So a lot of people who grade you, they don't really understand as well. So it kind of limits the art form for different people. It kind of diminishes the art form. So I just kind of forgot about that, and I just thought, oh yeah, and they had a Ubuntu Rastafarian poetry.
Oh yeah, I think I did that one as well.
Yeah.
I don't think we ended up crossing paths, because I don't remember seeing you. I don't remember seeing you, but yeah.
I did the first time they started. I did it when they first started, and I won that. And I think you came after this.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I stopped again. I just stopped it after the first time, because also there was one time when I did it, and what happened? I didn't like the way certain things were done.
Okay.
I think the person that I was doing the poetry against, she came second, and the guy that was in charge of the stuff, he just kept telling the people he didn't think I should have won, because
like he said this for everybody to hear.
Everyone's here. He's
oh
like,
wow.
I don't think you should have won because you didn't dress according to the parts. And if you had to do a part on Liberty, you had to come like this, and it was like you
like dress like what you were talking about.
Yeah. So like the girl, she came a little more dressed to her poetry, and I came to like just normal. And he's like, you know, you shouldn't. And he was just telling people like you did it around 5 times continuously, just say yeah, like they try to make little jokes, like, you know, kind of condescend and bring me down. So then I was like, bro, what do you could just.
And he wasn't a judge.
He was not the judge.
Okay.
He was not the judge. But then, you know, when you have power, when you believe you're in charge, you know, you can say whatever you want.
Okay, I get.
Yeah, so I just kind of just like, I didn't hold anything against it, but then it just more confirmed why, you know, that's just not really my vibe. I like to just perform, interact with people, educate people, entertain people, and that's it. So I just kind of stay away from that completely.
And the other part, I guess, stages, places?
So I've gone to Trinidad, Carifesta. I think that's the only place. I mean, apart from traveling around the island, just Trinidad. Carifesta, I think that was 2019, they had it. Yeah, so that was also a good experience as well.
Awesome. What is it like? What is the feel of being in spaces with other poets, other creatives? There's always little things you can learn from people. Someone did say, they told me one time, always see yourself as the best at what you do. I tend to hold that mindset. I'm not going to, like, I don't diminish people, I don't look down on people, whatever, but for me and my personal space and myself, I always try to see myself as the best at what I do. I always try to, you know, always better my art and whatnot. So yeah, so I learn as little as I can from people, or much as I can from other people, but I always feel like it's just my path that I'm just really trying to focus on and push that. Okay. And for anybody listening, what advice would you give to them if they have not, I guess, come out to performing in front of an audience or something like that? Or probably they have, once or twice. But any advice for upcoming poet or artist listening?
Yeah, I'll say take your time. I'll say don't rush it. Don't rush the art. If you make mistakes, it happens. You know, if you go and you perform, you make a mistake, there's nothing you can do about it at that point. So don't beat yourself down. Don't be a perfectionist. Try to put whatever work you can out there, because at the end of the day, there's going to come a time where someone will want to hear something, and at least you have something to present to them. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Be confident in your art. You know, keep pushing your art out. Even though you don't see anything at the moment, you know, just keep focusing on yourself and pushing yourself. So when the right time comes, the right time will come. There's been many times where, for me personally, I thought, you know, nothing is happening, but because of all the work I've done, that has gotten me many places. So take your time, and you have to be true to yourself. If you know it's not your vibe, know when to back out. But if you know it's your vibe, you know, keep pushing on it and keep developing yourself and don't stop. So yeah.
Nice. I like that advice. Are you working on anything that we can be looking forward to, or anything that's about to, I guess?
Yes, I have a new song coming out called Come My Way. That is a Afrobeat R&B song.
Okay.
I'm doing it with a good friend of mine called Manasa, the vocalist.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's coming out soon. We're just trying to get some work done to finish it off, and yeah, so the recording is done. We're just working on the video, getting ready to work on the video for it.
Awesome, I can't wait for that. And I will be putting your handles, social media, in the description below or on the screen somewhere. And before we leave, can you give us a sample of a full poem? One more? Just one more?
Poem? Okay.
Yeah? Alright.
Okay. I'll walk 1,000 miles just to get a glimpse of you. Sometimes I need my space, but it feels like space when you're not in my space. To taste your lips, which has become an addicting drug. To stare at your face into your eyes for a moment of escape. I free my mind between your thighs and let out a beast I cannot tame. Your actions spells no lies. Your words decide that the strength of a man's heart is fragile when in your hands. And we consistently battle demons with a picture of you in our hands. We have notes of all our goals that we want to achieve in life, but also notes of all the ways to see your smiles, to make only one place wet, and that is not your eyes. And even though we say I love you, we know that you will never understand the perfection in your imperfection, that instead of I love you, we prefer to say this, our unspoken truth.
Alright, thank you for watching. Again, this was Ethan Fletcher. You can find him on social media. And thank you again to the Mon Fortune Museum and Art Galleries for allowing us to use their beautiful location. They're open from Monday to Friday, so you can always go onto their Instagram page to see what they have to offer and come take a look and buy something. Alright guys, thanks again.